To make this little wrap dress, this reversible wrap dress, you're going to need a pattern for a wrap dress. And the only one I could find was the Quick Sew 3908. And I got this one at Hancock Fabrics. I went in the store and picked it up. You could probably find it on eBay or at a Hobby Lobby if you have a Hobby Lobby in your area. It doesn't necessarily have to be this particular dress pattern as long as it's a wrap dress pattern, because that was what was requested for me to do. The first thing you're going to need to do is cut out the two pattern pieces, and for this Quick Sew 3908 I only needed to cut out the front piece and the back piece, and that's all the pieces we'll need. I'm not going to make the tie. I'm going to use gross grain ribbon for the ties for the dress. So if you want to make your own tie, you can do that, and I think it comes with a pattern piece to do that. So I just think the ribbon will be easier to use and it'll be less bulky, so that's what I'm going to use. And I have to say, I really like this Quick Sew because I like that they use this paper for the patterns. It's longer lasting and a lot easier to deal with. We have these two pattern pieces cut out. The next thing we need to do is you want to cut out two dresses. And that's going to be, you're going to cut a piece on the fold, and you're going to have coordinating pieces. So let's just put this all in front of you here. I've got two different pieces for the back piece, which is cut on the fold. That means you open them up, you've got one whole piece like that. And I'm making this in a size 4 because I want to, for my granddaughter, I don't have any little tiny ones to give it to, but this comes, the pattern that I have comes in size 1 through 4. So if you get that, it'll have an infant size that you can use. So you've got, yeah, I'm just talking away. You have these two cut on the fold, and then you're going to cut two of these pieces not on the fold, and you'll have 2 for one dress and 2 for the other dress. So in total you're going to have 2, 4, 5, 6 pattern pieces. And if you have a really good coordinating fabric, you could probably interchange them, you know, like make the back from one and do it that way. But I'm going to do, I'm going to use the coordinating fabrics together. So the first thing that we need to do to start building our reversible dress is to take it over to the sewing machine, and we're going to sew all the shoulder seams together, just the shoulder seams here. So, okay, first thing I need to do before I start sewing is set up my machine. I'm setting my Viking Husqvarna on 2.5 stitch length and medium speed. And then we're going to take our back piece that we cut on the seam, and we're going to get one of the front pieces, and you want those armholes to be matching up, but you're only going to sew across the top of this, across the shoulder. So that's our first one, and we'll open that up and get it out of the way. Then we're going to take our second one, second shoulder piece for the same dress piece that we're sewing. We're going to line it up and sew across the top of it. Now we can put that aside, and we'll do the same thing with the other part of the dress, the other dress. Now I just want to show you what we have once we've sewn the two dress pieces together. This will be one dress. Oops. we've got the other dress with all the shoulder seams sewn together. So now what we need to do is just, we're going to press these seams down. You don't want to leave them. You need to do this step so that when everything's put together, it's nice and smooth and there's no lumpy parts inside the dress. So now we've got the seams pressed down. And before I start pinning this together and showing you guys how to sew it, the next thing you want to do is with these, and you can do it on one piece of the dress. You don't need to do it on both and both of them. You want to get your ribbon and take, I would say about 12 inches of ribbon. And what you want to do is the end that's going to be on the outside, not the end you're going to sew over. You just want to burn it just a little bit so that it doesn't fray. And then we're going to take them and I'm going to pin it right to the edge of this that will be the front part where it'll tie. I'm going to go ahead and do that on both sides. This next part might be the trickiest part for me to show you on camera, but I'm going to try. We're going to take these two dress pieces and we're going to lay them right sides facing together. Okay, so if you guys can see that, it's all laying flat, right sides facing together. Now I'm going to pin around the armholes. I don't know if y'all can see this really well. I'm trying to show it to you as best I can. So I've got it pinned around these outside armholes. I'm going all the way down the front seam around the neckline, and that is where I'm going to sew. So I'll show you that, but I'm going to explain it because I want to make sure that it's clear. You sew around this armhole, stop. So around this armhole, stop. Start down here, go around the front seam, all the way around the back of the neckline, around the front, and down this side, and stop. You're not going to sew these side seams or this side seam or this side seam together. You're going to leave all of that open. So again, I have my Viking Husqvarna set on 2.5 stitch length, medium speed. I'm going to start with one of the armholes and then I'm going to work my way around and do the front seam when I'm done with the armholes. Now, I'm going to show you what I've got done. I've taken my pins out. These armholes are sewn. The front is sewn together. The bottoms and the outsides or side seams that go down the side are open. So now what we need to do is just a little bit of clipping, and then we're going to turn everything right side out. You want to clip your little corners here at the front seams. Just a little bit. Don't clip the thread. And now what I'm going to do is around these armholes and around the circular part of the neckline is I'm going to do some clipping close to the seam but not on it. Just want to do about 1 inch or 1/2 inch all the way around. And I like to use these little scissors because it's easier to do without accidentally clipping the seam. Now that we've got all that done, what I want to do is turn all of this right side out. Okay, so there we have it. It's right side out. Now what we want to do is you want to start straightening everything out, and then you're going to press it. Press it nice and pretty. And this is going to be the reason for me saying that this is a little more complicated than a beginner, because this part, if you watched my infinity scarf video, I'm going to do something sort of like that. But now basically what we need to do before we do any of that is lay the dress as if it were all together and being worn. Flatten everything out really nice, and we're going to figure out where we need to put that second set of ties. So you can take your ties that you've got already sewn on and kind of lay them out flat. This one actually turned out to be on the top of the point, but it's okay, I'll make it work. Once you've done that, yeah, I've got kind of a little boo-boo here the way this is going, but I think it'll be okay like that. But what I want to do now is I'm going to take my little marker, and this is a washable fabric pencil, and I'm going to mark where I need that second ribbon on each one. And again, I'm going to cut off about 12 inches of ribbon. Two pieces that are about 12 inches. We want to burn the ends, just singe them, just melt that ribbon so it doesn't fray. And then I'm going to go in where I've got my marking and make sure that it's not going through both layers of both dresses, because you are, I'll show you. We're about to do something. So we want to pin it. So you see I've got one layer of one dress here and the other one here. I don't want to pin through both of them. We just want to pin through one. And make sure that you set that pin far enough back that you don't run over it with your sewing machine, because we're about to turn some things out. Okay. Now, this is a little bit of a complicated, little tricky part. You see I've got the front panels here and the back pieces here, and they are not sewn together. Okay, so now we've got our panels, and what we're going to do is I want to match up these seams. But I'm going to open it. I hope you guys can understand what I'm saying. Right side's facing together. We're going to open up this each side panel. Because you cannot really turn everything back wrong side out. If you do, you're going to have some complications. So we're going to line up these seams, which is basically what is here. I know it's hard to see, is the end of the armhole. We're going to line them up, right sides facing together. And I'm going to go ahead and pin that where I've lined up the seams, and then I'm going to pin all the way down. And I'm going to do this one at a time, because if I try to do both of these, it gets all twisty, and you know, I'm going to do one side seam and then the other side seam. So. Oh gosh, yeah, this I looked at a blog where she did this, and she did not explain it, and I got to thinking, well, I wonder what she did there. Some people, I think, purposely will leave things out of tutorials on blogs and even in videos because they think it's some kind of big secret. But if you're sharing your knowledge with others, you got to be open and honest, or else, you know, people aren't going to come back and watch your videos. And I really enjoy doing tutorials, so that is one reason mine are really long, because I like to do step by step. I don't do cute little videos with cute little music, because that's not what I'm going for. I'm actually wanting to, you know, I'm saying, hey, I want to teach you guys what I just learned. So hopefully I can get this where you can understand it, because the lady on the blog, and it was the only one I saw, she just did not tell what she was doing. Her picture was even vague, but I figured it out, because I figured out the infinity scarf, and I figured it's sort of the same concept. Now, let's see if you guys can see that. That is the two side seams, and you see that, where's it at? That's the armhole, and I've matched up the ends of those armholes, and I've pinned, couldn't even think of the word pinned, all the way down, which this will be the side seams of each dress. And what I'm going to do is take it to the machine and sew this all the way down. But I'm going to do that with this first side. I'll come back and I'll turn it and I'll show you what I did. So hopefully you can understand that it sounds really complicated, but it's not, y'all. I've got this side seam sewn. I'm just going to take out the pins, and then we'll see how we did. This is the first time that I'm trying to do this reversible wrap dress, and I just felt like if I went ahead and tried doing it on camera, I would up my game a little bit. So if I make some boo-boos in here, I'll tell you guys about it at the end. But now, look here at what we have. We have a nice closed seam on one side. Now we just need to do the other one. That's one side of the dress opened up, and this one hasn't been completed yet. So you see, you got a completed side with a little armhole. And then we just need to do the same thing with the next one. So I'm going to show you guys again, just in case, because I want y'all to get it. I want you to be like, oh yeah, I see what she's doing. So I'm going to lay it kind of as if it, you know, this helps you get it lined up, but I would lay it with the right sides of one side of the dress facing each other, the like sides of the right sides. And then I'm going to make a boo-boo on camera and not be able to get a hold of it. I'm going to open it up on that side, and then I'm going to open it up on this side, and I'm going to match up that seam and see, all the right sides are facing together. This right side of this dress and this right side of the gray pattern. So I'm just kind of going to open it up right there and line up these seams. You see that? We've got everything pinned. Again, I'm going to go all the way down, all the way, and then come back and I will show you how to do the hem for the dress. So I've got the other side seam sewn. I had a little boo-boos, so I had to take it apart and redo it. I had the arm twisted up. But anyway, so now that we've got, see our side seams here? They're all sewn together and you've got the dress. The only thing left to do is make the hem. And the way we're going to do that is to turn everything and tuck everything in. It's probably a good idea to just kind of tie these little ribbons. And we're going to match up these hems. The bottom hem, not these hems, there's only one. And you'll match up the side seams so that you can keep everything, you know, kind of in order. Do the end, and we're going to go all the way across this hem and pin it. But you need to leave an opening for turning, and I'm going to do that right at the middle of the back. And the way you can do that is once you've, like I said, y'all, this can get a little tricky. I'm going to just lay these seams flat on themselves. So we've got all the other parts of the dress tucked up in here, and this is our bottom hem. What we want to do is make sure that it's even, and we want to put some pins in. Like I said, you don't need to overpin it. It's just going to stick myself there. If you wanted to, before you did this, you could sew some rickrack on or some lace on the bottom and then turn it, but that could get kind of complicated. And you know, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark where I want to leave my opening, because I never leave myself enough for turning things like this, and then I end up with a mess. I'm trying to get it turned and sometimes ripping the fabric. So, I'm trying to save time on the sewing part. So this is all the bottom hem. I don't know if you can see it all in there. I've got it all pinned, and I'm going to sew, leaving this opening right here so I can turn it, and then I'll show you how to fix that and make it all neat. I'm going to go over to the machine and sew this up, and then I'll be right back. Pressed for time, this camera's running out of battery. So you see I've sewn all down the bottom hem with right sides facing together, and I've left this opening so that I can turn it. Now I'm going to take the pins out. So now we've got our hem done. We need to press it. When you get to the opening here, you just want to press it like you're doing everything else. What I'm going to do is, my camera battery is dying and I'm going to need to go charge it. But I'm going to press all of this bottom hem down, and what I'm going to do is from end to end, I'm going to sew just a top stitch. Just to make it look neat, and also to close up this opening that we created to do the turning. This is the finished reversible wrap dress. I'm trying to get it as far back so you guys can see it. I'm not going to turn it and show you the other side, because you obviously know it's just the same thing with a different pattern. But it turned out very nice. I like it. There were only a couple of little complications, and you can see my little teeny tiny blooper reel at the end of this video. But yeah, overall I'm real happy with it. Very first try, and it was not that hard. It just, you saw that one part where I twisted up the arm. Didn't even know I was doing it. I was so busy chit-chatting on camera that I didn't pay any attention, but I saw it when I was editing the video. So anyway, but it was no big deal. I ripped out the seams and just did it over again, did it right. So there you go. That is our little reversible wrap dress. You can do this if you can find a wrap dress pattern, or you can make your own. You can do this for an adult, a baby, or a child, or a toddler. It doesn't matter. It'll work for any kind of wrap dress pattern that you can use. You can see where I closed up my bottom seam here, and I sewed all the way around. That was the last thing I talked about in the video. That video ran really long, but I was actually able to get it down to a good time. So it was like an hour and a half, and I edited it down to what it is, what you're seeing now. So anyway, that's the toddler reversible wrap dress. That is so hard for me to say for some reason. Now what I want to do is a little thing that I thought I would do for you guys, because you guys are really special to me. It means a lot to for me to get online and see my emails, and I've got all of these questions and these compliments and things on my videos. So I just want to shout out a few of you. The first one is muy chingon, LOL. I know what that means. So anyway, yeah, I appreciate you girls. Nice to have you on my Facebook too. So that's muy chingon, LOL. Just want to give you a shout out and say hey, and thanks for being a loyal subscriber. And let's see, I just saw this one. I wanted to make sure I shout her out. Utah Gmal 99. Okay, and Foxy Brown 291. That's Foxy with 2 X's. So thank you guys for being subscribers. Thanks for watching my videos, for commenting, liking, and sharing. If you want a shout out, I don't mind you asking for one. I have a lot of subscribers now, so it would be hard to go through and, well, it actually would be easy to miss somebody, because I get so many emails and comments on a daily basis. But I am absolutely happy with it. I just want to say that I love you guys, and I really appreciate this. I am enjoying this. So give me some more challenges. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoy this little old tutorial. Peace, y'all. Bye-bye. Oh, shit. What happened?